Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Matt O'Donnell, Tamala Edwards, Karen Rogers, and meteorologist David Murphy.
Hey everyone, we're following a lot of news you didn't see last night. It is Wednesday, April 29th. A line of police behind riot shields hurl tear gas canisters at protesters to enforce a citywide curfew that remains in effect right now in Baltimore.
At least 2 people were shot in Ferguson, Missouri, as hundreds of demonstrators gathered in support of Baltimore.
Temple students are on edge because an armed man forced his way into a home near the campus, but what he stole should not have been in the home in the first place.
Good morning, 4:30 now here on this Wednesday. Karen Rogers is off. Let's head on over to David Murphy, tell you what to expect with AccuWeather, and Matt Pellman has traffic. Good morning.
Well, we're off to a good start weather-wise, and it looks like it'll be a nice finish today as well. You can see a lack of any significant cloud cover around the region, so we are expecting to start out sunny and to stay fairly bright through the day. 57 degrees in Philadelphia, too. That's a little bit milder than it was this time yesterday. Allentown still at 45, 52 in Trenton, 48 in Reading, 52 in Wilmington, and a 5 and a 3 down along the shore in Sea Isle City. As we head out the door to catch the bus this morning, a little bit better, comfortable than it's been the last couple of mornings. 54 by 6, 57 by 8. Not all that much of a breeze out there. And moving through the day, we'll still be in the upper 50s by 8 o'clock, but as soon as noon, up to 70, and then 75 by 3 o'clock with a high today of 76, which will probably hit rather late in the afternoon, say around 4 o'clock this afternoon. And as we take a look at the pollen count today, well, it still looks like it's going to run a little bit on the high side, probably dropping off a little bit as we head toward the end of the week and into the weekend. We are keeping our eyes on a system down to the south. The question is, how close will it come to us, and how soon will we get some rain from that? We'll have the latest take on all of this from AccuWeather coming up in that 7-day forecast. Matt?
Hopefully not too close. Good morning to you, David. And we're close to the end of the construction that was happening overnight on a lot of our area roadways. They already cleared out here along 95 in the ongoing work zone at Cottman Avenue. Northbound headlights able to get by with no problems. The ramps are reopened, so sitting pretty here along 95, but they're still wrapping up the overnight work here in Center City along the Vine Street Expressway. Eastbound side, you see one of the construction vehicles right there in the left lane. So as you come off of the Schuylkill Expressway eastbound, you have to stay to your right on the Vine eastbound headed toward Broad Street. Should be out of here soon. Tonight, it's going to be westbound that they work starting at 10 o'clock. We're watching a water main break this morning in Bryn Mawr. It's along New Gulf Road at Morris Avenue. And we have some debris to avoid in Hatfield along Bethlehem Pike near Truigtown Road. But better news this morning in Lower Providence. Overnight around 1 o'clock, they reopened South Park Avenue between Eagleville and Falcon Roads. Now, you will still find some road crews out there this morning making some repairs to the roadway, but traffic is going to be able to get by along South Park Avenue. And we still have some road work finishing up overnight in Newcastle County on the northbound side of 95, approaching Route 273. 2 left lanes out of commission for about another half hour. Matt and Tam?
Okay, thank you, Matt. And this morning, we're starting with the overnight developments out of Baltimore. A curfew went into effect last night at 10 p.m., but a defiant group of protesters squared off with police after that. That curfew will be lifted in less than half an hour. Action News reporter Erin O'Hearn has the very latest. She's live at the Big Board with those details. Good morning.
Good morning, Tam. And the city got off to a rough start late last night. Officers did make some arrests when people in the streets started throwing bricks and rocks at officers. The crowd, though, then lessened after police deployed pepper bullets and smoke canisters. From that point on, police did have the city under control. Now, you can tell from the scenes here that the night started off unstable, but the situation didn't get close to escalating to the kind of violence we saw Monday night into Tuesday morning. Many residents, volunteers, and community leaders vowed to keep peace in the city, saying Freddie Gray, the 25-year-old whose death sparked such outrage, would not want this to happen to his city. And residents, as you can see, spent yesterday cleaning up the aftermath of those violent riots, saying that yesterday broke their hearts, and today, or yesterday rather, they were proud at the end of the day. And the police commissioner echoed those feelings in an overnight news conference.
Major events earlier in the evening. We had a group march down to the downtown area to City Hall. We had no major issues with that. We had a small group within that group of about 4 to 5 people that we stopped and had a conversation with, but allowed them to proceed on. That group had no issues. Very proud of them. They came down, did the First Amendment rights, and went back and returned to the area that they had come from.
For now, the curfew will remain in effect for a week, and authorities say the National Guard will continue to patrol the streets. Now, coming up at 5, we will highlight some of the positive images emerging from the streets of Baltimore and how residents there are taking control back of their city. And by the way, schools are open today, Matt.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you, Aaron. We're following another developing story, this one in Ferguson, Missouri. At least 2 people were shot during protests overnight there. Hundreds of demonstrators were gathering in support of the protests in Baltimore. Authorities say a man was shot in the leg and ran into a nearby restaurant to get help. Another person was shot in the neck. Police quickly took someone into custody and recovered a weapon. Investigators are not sure if those shootings in Ferguson were linked to the actual protests going on. The lawyer for the family who filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Philadelphia police plans to publicly discuss the court action later today. Police shot and killed Brandon Tate Brown during a traffic stop in the Mayfair section in December. His parents filed the suit, claiming police planted evidence and to make it appear as if their son was reaching for a gun. District Attorney Seth Williams did not charge the officers, saying surveillance video corroborated their version of what happened. The city has not commented on the lawsuit.
And this story is developing overnight. Police are looking for the gunman who invaded a home and robbed Temple University students. The action cam was on the scene early this morning on the 1500 block of North 13th Street in North Philadelphia. Police say the suspect stole cash and marijuana. No students were hurt. We'll be getting you a live report from that scene coming up at 5 a.m. A 2-car hit-and-run crash in Mantua critically injured a driver. Philadelphia police are now looking for the other driver. The action cam was there as medics placed the victim in an ambulance at 39th and Mount Vernon Streets last night. The other driver sped away from the scene.
We are expecting new details today about a double shooting in Wilmington, Delaware. Gunfire erupted near the 600 block of West 6th Street last night. Officers who responded to the scene were met by a large crowd and found 2 women wounded by gunfire on the sidewalk. Details on what triggered the shootings are not known. Police are still looking for the gunman. The women are Wilmington's 37th and 38th shooting victims so far this year. And developing, Philadelphia police say they are investigating a suspicious death. A landlord discovered the body of a 39-year-old man in the man's apartment in Frankfort yesterday. Neighbors on the 1600 block of Wakeling Street had reported an odor, so the landlord checked on the man. Police say his body was badly decomposed. Investigators have not released the man's name, but say no one had heard from him in weeks.
It's unknown at this time whether or not it's a homicide, unknown at this time whether or not there is foul play. But our detectives will investigate.
The medical examiner will try to figure out why the man died during an autopsy scheduled for today.
A flight from Raleigh to Newark made an emergency landing at Philadelphia International Airport. The Republic Airlines flight, operating as United Air Express, diverted into Philadelphia yesterday afternoon. One of the plane's prop engines caught fire mid-flight. Philadelphia firefighters surrounded Flight 4882 moments after it landed. Brian Giordano captured cell phone video of the more than 70 people on board hustling out onto the tarmac.
It was a little tense because they prepped us for a crash. So, you know, it was, they went through the routine and made sure we knew how to position ourselves. And if they called out, brace, then that's what we were supposed to do.
Passengers commended the pilot and crew for keeping everyone calm and landing safely. One passenger with a history of heart problems complained of chest issues and was taken to the hospital.
Happening today, a local restaurant will hold a day-long fundraiser for the family of a slain Philadelphia police officer. Robert Wilson III was shot and killed last month when robbers barged into a North Philadelphia GameStop last month. Johnny's Fine Italian Cuisine is raising money for his family, including Wilson's 2 young sons. It has a $30 special today from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. The restaurant is at Comley and Harbison Avenue in the city's Wissanoming section. 2 men are charged with Wilson's murder.
4:39 now, and still ahead, a few stories you didn't see last night. The search is on for a hit-and-run driver who was caught on camera backing his car up over an elderly woman in Huntington Beach.
And you probably agree that a new label on some bottles of Bud Light pretty much fell flat with women. We'll explain in this morning's business report. David.
All right, so we're still in the 50s today. Cool, a little bit better than yesterday. Probably good enough for a jacket, though. This afternoon, it's definitely shorts and tees weather. I'll have the exclusive AccuWeather 7-day forecast and the latest on that coastal storm. What's that going to do to us the next couple of days? It's all ahead.
David, Tam and I have had our eyes on this day ever since it showed up on the 7-day.
It really is going to be a nice afternoon ahead, fairly bright and fairly warm. As we take a look at Storm Tracker 6 Live double scan, still no hint of any rain, so that's good. And taking a look outside on Sky 6, it's going to be a nice morning out there. Not quite as cool as it was yesterday, but still in the 50s in most neighborhoods, so a jacket probably not a bad idea, but very, very pleasant as we begin the day and as we end it. 57 degrees is the current temperature, about 5 better than we were this time yesterday. Winds are light at just 5 miles per hour across most of the region. Down the shore, we saw the camera bouncing just a bit, but even there, I think you've got single-digit winds, maybe just a little bit stronger. And what happened to the clouds? They're all gone right now. As we go through the day, we'll probably see some of that fair weather cumulus develop here and there, kind of like we did yesterday, but it still looks like a fairly sunny and bright day. 57 by 8 o'clock, and then we really zoom all the way up to 68 degrees as soon as 11. Yesterday at 11, we were only at about 60 or so it will feel warmer faster today. And by 2 o'clock, 73 degrees with a high of 76, probably around 4 o'clock this afternoon. And by 5 o'clock, still in the mid-70s. High temperatures across the region. Up in Allentown, 74, not much different than Philadelphia and Wilmington, 74 in Millville. And again, right down at the shore, as is typical this time of year, we're a little bit cooler, the low to mid-60s, but still not a bad day with all that sunshine out there. Not a whole lot of a breeze today either, only about 7-14 mile per hour wind. Outdoor advice, well, with highs near 70, really up into the mid-70s today. Lots of sun. The UV index will be running high, and it's another day where you do want the sunscreen. Then we have our eyes on an area of low pressure that's going to develop into a coastal low, but at this point, rather than coming right up our coast, it looks like it's going to stay pretty far to the south, and you can see that most of the rain associated with this and a secondary area of energy, which is going to kind of combine with that deepening offshore low, is basically going to be down to our south and our west. Tomorrow, not too much of a chance of a shower. Maybe something pops up here or there, but I think we're mainly just cloudier, certainly on the breezy side. And then as we get into Friday, perhaps a little better chance of a shower around. Your exclusive AccuWeather 7-day forecast, 76 degrees is today's high. Nice and warm out there, really comfortable. And then tomorrow we have clouds mixing with some sun and a high of 70 degrees, very likely dry. On Friday, breezy, 59 degrees, a lot cooler with that low really circulating a good influx of air off the cool ocean water, and that would be the day where I could see us with a shower popping up, especially in the afternoon. But then by Saturday, the storm's gone, and we really do recover to a nice Saturday. We'll go for a high of about 68 right now. Pretty decent weather for the 4 o'clock Union game here on 6 ABC. And then Sunday, sunny and warm, a high of 76, and pretty comfortable for the runners for the Blue Cross Broad Street run on Sunday morning. On Monday, very warm. Looks like we have a shot at 80 for the first time this year. And then Tuesday, we will hit another 80, warm. And in the afternoon, there could be a spotty storm. Right now, it doesn't necessarily look like a big Armageddon type front, but it's something we'll be watching.
All right, Dave, thanks. Police in Houston are looking for this guy. They say he stole an iPad from a 2-year-old boy. Surveillance video from April 19th shows the man knocking the boy down and snatching the device right out of the child's hands. The toddler's head hit the ground and he suffered minor bumps and bruises. Police are still searching for the guy who they say has been involved in at least 6 other recent crimes. The search is on for a hit-and-run driver in Huntington Beach, California. This surveillance video from a McDonald's shows an elderly couple walking into the parking lot with their daughter. A dark gray Dodge Challenger drives past the family and then speeds backwards and barrels into the 86-year-old woman. A woman in the car gets out to help, and the male driver tells her to get back in the car, and they drive off. The elderly woman, who was knocked to the ground, suffered head injuries.
Ooh, hard to look at that video. We're here at the big board taking your first look at business. Bud Light saying they thought this would be cute, but now they're sorry for a new label that backfired online. Now, here's what the label reads. It says, the perfect beer for removing no from your vocabulary for the night. Maybe they thought people should think, oh, I'm going to have a good time, do some things crazy. But people immediately expressed outrage, saying the campaign seemed to support an alcohol-fueled rape culture. American Airlines grounded nearly 24 flights overnight after a glitch with the iPads that are used by the pilots. This according to USA Today. The flight plans are transmitted on the iPads, making them critical to navigating the plane. Let's take a look at Wall Street. Stocks were mixed on Tuesday, and right now futures are looking like they're going to have a lower open. And just after the taxi drivers got upset, now the delivery guy could be in trouble. The latest startup in America to get you to where you want to go now wants to deliver your food. Uber announced that it's introducing a food service in New York and Chicago. It promises to get you your takeout in 10 minutes or less. It's called Uber Eats. This is really changing how we live.
Yep, disruptive technology. That's what it's all about. 4:48 and much more action news ahead. It was the one moment from chaos in Baltimore that had some people cheering. Hear more about why the mom removed her son from the unrest.
And a man was caught on camera stealing from a Bucks County church. The video that may help officers catch the culprit. That when Action News comes right back.
Well, I hope you're enjoying this. You know, you only get to wake up in April 2015 one more time after this morning. Yeah, as you're waking up and heading out this morning, so far things look pretty good on the roadways. Still a little overnight construction here as you exit the Schuylkill Expressway eastbound onto the Vine Street Expressway eastbound. Can you see the cones here blocking the left lane? But they should be out of here in the next 10 minutes and no delays on the Schuylkill at this point. Also still have some overnight road work on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. 276 westbound side near Bensalem. They're taking out the right lane. You've got some speeds in the 30s westbound back around Del Val. And a couple issues in the neighborhoods this morning. We're watching a water main break in Bryn Mawr along New Gulf Road at Morris Avenue. Also have a new downed tree in Paoli along Lancaster Avenue, which of course is 30 near 252. In Easttown Township, a new work zone begins today going through mid-June. During the middays, they're going to close Newtown Road. So at that point, Darby Paoli Road might be a better bet. And in Hatfield, watch out for some debris this morning along Bethlehem Pike near Truwig Town Road. Matt and Tam.
Thank you, Matt. Images you see right here taken by our Baltimore ABC affiliate showing a mother confronting her son and then getting violent with him during that unrest in Baltimore have gone viral.
Now, some parents, in particular African-American parents, have been cheering this one on. Now, Toye Graham, that's the mother, she's explaining why she aggressively went after her 16-year-old son. The single mother of 6 said she spotted her teenage son on live television throwing rocks at police, so she immediately went down to the street standoff and dragged him home, doing so with a mix of yelling, even some shoves and smacks. Graham said she didn't want her son to be the next Freddie Gray. Others in her neighborhood applauded her parenting.
We do care for our youngins. We do care about our city and everyone that's not our blood-related children.
Graham says she hopes that this will be a teachable moment.
Officials in Bucks County need your help finding a burglary suspect who targeted a church. This is surveillance video from Tuesday morning at the Nativity of Our Lord Church in Warminster. You can see the thief forcing open so-called poor boxes to steal money which was donated by parishioners. It is unclear how much he snatched. If you have any information, call Warminster Township Police.
It's now 4:53 and all new in the next half hour of Action News. Police are on the hunt for the person who attacked a man behind a shopping center in Delaware.
Plus, see the fat cat from South Jersey whose weight is equivalent to a 700-pound human and how humans plan to help it lose weight. The Nigerian armed forces say they have rescued nearly 300 girls and women in the Sambisa forest, a known Boko Haram stronghold. An army spokesman says they were not among the girls abducted by the Nigerian terror group 1 year ago, but added, "We stumbled on the girls and we may find more." The military's official Twitter account also says the Nigerian troops captured and destroyed 3 terrorist camps.
A message posted to Joni Mitchell's website states the singer is still in the hospital, but that she's alert and expected to make a full recovery. This post comes after a longtime friend filed a court petition seeking to become Mitchell's guardian. The friend said that the singer was unconscious and unable to care for herself. A declaration from a doctor states that the 71-year-old will likely be unable to attend any court hearings for the next 4 to 6 months, but it doesn't provide details on her condition right now.
A South Jersey cat has gained a noticeable amount of fame over its sizable figure, and now a local group is hoping to get her back in shape. Sprinkles weighs an incredible 33 pounds. The rather large cat was discovered in a foreclosed home with ear mites, a flea infestation, and an infection. Sprinkles is now under the loving care of SOS Sea Isle City Cats and is feeling better, but still has some hurdles to overcome. Handlers will put the cat on a closely monitored diet to lose weight at a healthy rate.
It is now 4:57. We're following a developing story this morning. A home invasion robbery targets Temple University students.
New research finds binge drinking when you are young can have a lasting negative impact on your mental health when you're older. Action News will be back.